In this video, find out how meditation cured my ADHD and changed my life. So, some people may know that knew me and some may not know, but growing up, especially the last 2 or 3 years of high school, and then about 4 or 5 years after that, I would take Adderall, which is a medication that they give people that have ADHD. So I went to a doctor, they said, oh, you have ADHD, here's some Adderall, this will help you focus more, and I took Adderall for years. And the thing with Adderall is it works while you take it, but the side effects of it are quite harsh. The side effects of Adderall are you don't sleep as easily, and I love to sleep. I love to dream, I love the whole process of it, and I love to eat. And because the other side effect is you don't eat as much, and I love food. So those were the side effects of being able to take Adderall and being able to focus. And what I realized was that I didn't enjoy the side effects as much as the benefit of Adderall had on my ability to focus. So it was more of a means to an end type thing. It was something that I did so that I could focus better, but I didn't necessarily enjoy the process of it. So what I did was I decided that I was going to do my own research to find out what alternatives there were to being able to increase concentration, or see if there were some people that maybe did have ADHD but were able to overcome it, not through the use of necessarily having to take a prescription your whole life. So what I did was I got online, I just got on Google, and I typed in how to overcome ADHD or how to increase concentration, and one of the most powerful things that I saw was that kept coming up consistently was the power of meditation and the benefits of it. So after a period of time of me seeing more and more of this information, I decided that I was going to give it a go. And for me at first, there was a little bit of blockage because I had my own beliefs about, or my own judgments, I guess you could say, on what meditation was. I would always think of it as something that only monks did or something that Buddhists did. So once I got over that, because a lot of the people that were writing these testimonials or the research that was on it were Americans, or they were people that weren't necessarily monks, or from the eastern side of the world that believed and did that was what they did every day. But what I realized was that I was going to give it a go. So what I did was I researched how to meditate online, and I said how to meditate, and there would be a list of different ways to do it. But the one that really resonated with me was one that was about meditating and using just a candle. So what you do is you just get a candle, of course you light it, and you just look at the flame, right? You just sit there and you stare at the flame. And the reason I did this was because it was saying it was good for concentration, because when you're just focused onto one point, it helps you to not let anything else distract you. It said what you do is you sit there, you look at the flame, and you observe the thoughts that come into you. You observe how you're thinking and how you're feeling, but you don't necessarily follow that thought down the path, down the tunnel. You just sit there and observe it, very much like you're just sitting at a park and you're just watching everyone walk by. You're just observing. You're not necessarily getting entrained or getting immersed into what they're doing. You're just observing. So that's what I did, is I sat down, I stared at the flame, and I just focused my breathing and just observed how I felt. And after about 10 to 15 minutes of doing this, my mind started to get out of the way, and I started to feel more vibrant. I started to feel a level of vibrancy inside of my body, and it felt really good. And from that point forward, after I felt that, I was like, you know what? From now on, I'm just going to make the decision that meditation is going to have a powerful benefit in my life. I just decided right then and there that it was going to change my life forever. And once I made that decision, from that point going forward, I was able to constantly, just instead of doing Adderall for me to feel a certain way to become focused, I only did it twice a day. It wasn't like I did it every a couple hours or anything like that, but I would just supplement it with that. So I decided that I was just going to meditate more often and bring that into my daily life. And I did that not necessarily right off the bat with getting rid of Adderall, but I did it, and after a week or two of meditating, I started to feel differently in my everyday life. When I wasn't meditating, I felt differently. I felt a level of vibrancy that I've never felt before. The colors, everything that I saw just appeared differently to me. I felt like I was seeing it for the first time. And I think the reason that was is just because I was seeing it from a different point of view. I was observing it rather than labeling it and saying, this is this. This is this concrete labeled form of what I identify it to be. And I would just look at it and not necessarily try to feel one way or the other. I would just look at something and just observe it. And that observation, that feeling was so much better because I was then not attached to the reactive mind. I wasn't attached to how I felt about it necessarily. And I think that being aware of your feelings is important, but there's a difference between reacting and then just observing the way that you feel, because you can realize that your feelings, your emotions, is just a guidance system. It guides you and tells you how you feel in relationship to how you're thinking. So once I started to do this, I started to feel so much differently. I stopped feeling so stressed out all the time. I stopped feeling anxiety as much. Every now and then it would come along, but it was at a much less level than it was before, and it would normally subside way quicker than it would have than before I started to meditate. After about 2 weeks of meditation, I completely just got Adderall. I threw it away. I said, I'm not going to take this anymore. And from that point forward, I never have taken Adderall again. Now, I'm not saying that if you have ADHD and you're taking some type of medication that you should just throw it out. But what I'm encouraging you to do is to look inside of yourself and to try to find a way that you can cure it yourself versus needing some type of external thing from your body to put into you to change it. And I did it for many years, so there's nothing wrong with it, but I personally decided that I wanted to figure out something deeper, something more that I could then use it as a tool in that direction. Or just as a tool to clear your mind, to feel in a higher state, to feel better, and to become more aware of what's going on inside of you. Because when you're aware of how you feel and the way that you're thinking, you're then able to modify it and to measure it in a way that you change your state, you change how you feel, and you change your life from that. So the benefits of meditation are vast. It goes beyond just the endocrine system being able to regulate the hormones in your body, which there's tons of really good research on. But there's also benefits that have to do with brainwave activities. And when you get into levels of meditation, you deepen the brainwave activity that you have, and it gets you to a more relaxed state more often. And it's a positive state to be in, because not only does it feel good, but you're doing your body a lot of justice, because then you're feeling different in your body. Your immune system goes up. Now, I say this because it's something that's changed my life so much, but I believe that our thoughts create our reality, and that if we can change our state, we change our circumstances, or we go to a higher level of where we feel better. Over the last 2 or 3 years now, every morning I wake up, for the first 20 minutes of my day, I meditate. And I focus on feeling gratitude. I sit there, I still do the same meditation that I did when I was talking about in the beginning of this video, is I stare at a candle and or the flame on a candle, and I focus my attention on that. It's been a good anchor for me. It gets me into that state very quick. And then I focus on gratitude. I focus on the things I'm grateful for. And it's something that's really elevated my days, and I'm able to become more aware of how I feel, and I'm able to have better days because I do this. And I do it also right at night, right before I go to bed. I kind of focus my mind on how I want to feel, and that bleeds into my night and how I sleep, and then how I fall asleep, and the feelings that I have when I fall asleep, I wake up and feel the same way, and then I start my day off at a good point. So it's something that's changed my life in the sense that it changed how I feel, it changed the way I perceive everything, and it let me drop my necessity for Adderall. So it was something that worked really well for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for everyone, but I encourage you to just use it as a tool and to see if it's something that can change how you feel or how you think and elevate yourself to a higher level of feeling. So anyways, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed what you saw, feel free to subscribe or to like below. I do videos on topics like this just about every week. So it's a pleasure. You guys have a great day. Goodbye.